in anticipation of where the attack vector should be is a little altered. It's not as good as this way.
Are you talking? Okay, I kind of get that. I feel like it would be it's worse in person, right? Because you're when you're physically moving on Vassal, everything being perfect like that's not. You can kind of line that up.
Yeah.
So while we're waiting on this, have you guys thought of any cheeky and fun builds with for the new TIE Advanced pilots?
Uh,
No.
Vader is just unbelievably awesome.
Yeah.
I was watching it, and actually, it was a TC Aces game. It was Dom and someone, I can't remember who. But the thing is, he commented, it's like, sometimes you're not always sure what to do with Vader, though, because if he gets caught in a bad spot, or a spot where he could potentially take a few shots, do you take that lock just because it's so valuable with ATC? Do you turtle up? It seems like sometimes you're not quite sure what you're going to do with him as opposed to someone like Fell, who is it's a little more
Yeah.
clear cut with him sometimes. So
Right.
that's one issue I've found with him. But I feel like it's pretty damn strong. I'm kind of interested, or I'm surprised that I haven't seen so many sensor jammer lists
So
in the
that's
TC
that's
Aces. Go ahead.
that's my build coming out like with the new guys. I really want to see. Or so I'm thinking. It's a triple eight, so it's Jax with stealth and auto thrusters and PTL. Storm, the pilot skill 6 tie advanced that takes away your range mods at range 1
Uh-huh.
with a sensor jammer and VI to push him to 8, and then Kagi with an engine upgrade, a rebel captive, and also a sensor jammer.
Mm.
So, like, I don't know as it's actually going to be good in any way, shape, or form, but you're going to be shooting terrible shots all game long
The
with
only
no
thing about
actions.
those lists, though, is it's real predicated on staying in formation, and it's kind of one of those that after like the initial shots, if Jax like gets away from the bulk of the enemy, or if they're running something like three squints, like he's really only gonna be able to go after one if they really spread it out. Is the thing.
Sure.
But I
So
believe,
what?
wasn't that me
It's
and you, Tyler, that played in round one of the
of the
Epic?
Epic game. Yeah.
Oh my god, that was such a pain in the ass. I had Kyle Katarn, and he had motherfucking Carnor Jax, and I was sort of running a list kind of like that, where it was just defense bigs, so I had to jam them all in real tight, and I didn't have a whole lot of 360 to be able to deal with Jax. That was before auto thrusters, I believe, and so he was
Yeah.
able to just get behind. He was really the MVP of the game, really. If it had
Yeah.
been like anyone else, I probably
For
would have
sure.
won. But
Because I think it shut down like R5P9 on Luke for a couple
uh-huh.
turns as well. Yeah. No, it was well, and that's basically the I've never been able to get in 100 points a list that I like with Kagi and Jax.
Uh-huh.
They're like two of my favorite ships, but it's what else do you put with them, right? Like what's that third? Because you only have like 28 points
Yeah.
roughly. And hey, there's another defensive tie advanced that dicks with the enemy and their
Uh-huh.
ability to do stuff.
Yep. Well, initially, I haven't really looked at the couple new guys they dropped, but I just feel like the Tempest with that accuracy corrector is really boss now, and I was just thinking once it drops two Tempest with a accuracy corrector, Doom Shuttle with Backstabber, and then I've basically got 18 points to do with whatever I like. I was thinking maybe just run a Scimitar with a Seismic to help deal with swarms. I could just run one Squint. I've kind of tooled with that just a little bit, but I haven't played with it a whole lot. So,
I know
use-
they're decent. I just still have nightmares of playing Sozin in the Aces round like 2 or whatever, where I had 3 of them, and I just couldn't do damage for like 4 turns in a row.
yeah, there was also Morgan and Dom actually played a game, and it came. I watched the first half of it, but it ended up being like a 4-hour game, and it came
Yeah.
down to
5 or 5.5. It was brutal.
It was 5.5 hours.
I think so.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Like
Yeah.
started at 7 and they finished close to 1.
Wow.
It's,
And it was basically the last, what, 3.5 hours was just a couple of Tempests chasing around Fell, right?
Yeah, I mean, Dom got it into a Vader plus 3 Tempest endgame versus Fel, and Fel beat him. Fel took it down.
Yeah, so that is the concern, is that those accuracy correctors, yeah, they have no hope almost of punching through a guy like Sunter, but overall, pretty strong jousting tips, I feel like now, and got some decent maneuverability too. So, looks like...
I think the trick is that you pair up those guys with a Doom Decimator or something, so that when you go up against Vader, they can punch away at the VT-95.
Yeah, they're the perfect point fill in for. Do you remember Dark Templar's list in the TC Open that he ran against? He only played a couple of games, but he ran it against Dom for one of them, and it was a Engine Vader Patrol Leader and then 2 PTL Sabers.
Yes.
And so you rip the Sabers out and throw in Tempests or Storms with, accuracy corrector, or even the advanced targeting computer at that point. You could fit a lot of stuff in there. And it's kind of it's that same perfect point fill that I feel like Empire's really needed for a while. That like you don't have 2 ships that fit in that mid 40 point range. Like you can do like 3 ships, or you can do 1 ship, but you don't have 2.
And really for that 21.2, sort of that mid tier, they really haven't had a whole lot either. It's basically...
It's been the shuttle. Like, if you were really good running a shuttle, like, you could run that. But outside, if you don't want to run a shuttle, in that, you know what I mean? It doesn't fit with whatever you're trying to do. Yeah, you don't have anything.
It looks like Morgan went for the Fortress once again and texted a 1 and a boost with Chirino coming down that left side, holding Vader back. So quite the slugfest. Started out. I hope it doesn't come down to... I mean, it's going to be interesting, Decimator on Decimator. I feel like it's... I really don't see how it cannot come down to this Decimator endgame. That's going to be interesting.
So I almost want to... So the problem with your Decimator shots is you've got Vader, right? So Vader can very easily just focus evade after the turn he sets up his target lock. Pretty much every turn, right? Yep. So, granted, they have Gunner, and it's not an auto thruster's issue, so it's not really a wasted shot, but you hate throwing dice and missing twice. You know what I mean? Like, that's just because that just puts you so far behind the curve of killing that stupid 16 hit point ship.
Yeah. So, yeah, there definitely is a chance.
Chirino, if he gets in close, he's going to want to be shooting Oiken because he's going to get those free crits in all day long, and that's just going to be a terrible thing. I actually had a game at our local store. I was playing a buddy of mine, and it wasn't... I forget who... Or I was probably a Mangler Cannon on Vestry, but it was... not only did I injured pilot Oiken to where he lost his ability to bump, but then I gave him stunned pilot to where if he runs into people, he takes damage.
Yep.
So, like, I reverse Oikened him.
Huh. That's good. Well, yeah, Chirino definitely has the ability to do some work on Oiken here. Once he strips those shields, it's just going to be basically guaranteed crit every time.
Right.
If it's something bad, that could be big trouble for Morgan. So it looks like he's breaking it.
Yeah, well, he left the Decimator.
He did leave Oiken, yep. Still taking it pretty slow.
This will be interesting, because if he banks left with Oiken next turn and then hard lefts with Vader, they'll still be in a semi formation. Kind of sweep around.
Tex is more or less committed to where he's going.
Oh, it was my buddy Mike that I was actually playing. He just texted me that I was mocking his pain. I'm sorry. So I will say, and this I'm going to go back to our earlier talk about the different meta and whatnot, and with the store championships being just once again I feel like a terrible place to look at like what's going to be popular and what's going to actually work, right? The first store championship that I won, the final match was I was flying Stealth Auto Thruster PTL Fell with 5 Obsidians, and my opponent was running VI PTL Auto Thruster Tycho with 5 Talus.
Mm.
So it was like this 100% mirror matchup. Oh, and he also had a proton rocket. Like that was the other 3 points he had. So, and basically the match came down to the fact that he missed the proton rocket.
Mm.
He took the shots without a target lock because he didn't feel like I wasn't going to let him. He basically K-turned while not stressed, and then boosted into range 1 and focused. And I just didn't see that coming. It was a really good move, and then just didn't roll well on the shot, and I was able to avoid it. And then I ignored Tycho for a while and killed some Talos with Fell. You know what I mean? Like Fell is better at that than Tycho is at killing TIE fighters.
Yeah.
But I don't expect to see Tycho and 5 Talos showing up at major tournaments normally. It just happened that both of those style lists work really well when there's a bunch of Mangler Cannon dashes and Heavy Laser Cannon dashes in the field.
Certainly. So, when you're looking at Major Juggler, does it talk? So it talks about what ships are most popular. Is there any data on the most popular pilot skills?
No, but JT Punk has some of that data. That's actually on my backlog to kind of break out the data by pilot skill to show. I mean, the theory is that we're going to see a shift away from the low PS, high PS kind of polarized environment and over to a more immediate type environment.
Yeah,
because the Whisper.
I looked at something. I can't remember where it was, but it read out that 2 is unequivocally the most popular, and it's really not even close. And then it goes like 9, 1, and then it kind of starts to even up. But there's so many 2s, because like you said, the Blue Squadron pilot, the most popular, and then you got so much more. You got, what do you got? You got the shuttle.
Yeah, the OGP's in there for sure.
Bandits.
Cool.
So
yeah, lots of bandits. They're golds as well. I mean, it's all the rebel small ships, right?
But now with the Raider, I think we're gonna start seeing some Tempests even in there too now. So I feel like that talk about Talas and Obsidians. I'm kind of been in the mindset of whenever I'm going Swarm now, if I can get that boost, and I haven't really play tested that a whole lot, but I feel like I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts and whether you think it's worthwhile, because it's really, I feel like for value, those Talas and Obsidians, for 1 point, that's a pretty good value, I feel like, and especially to get over that too. But I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely agree that. I mean, the question is, I think really more, do you want to be a blocker? Do you want to play a blocking game? In which case, you've got both options. You can go with the Academy pilots and block all those annoying B-Wings. Or you can go PS3 and shoot first.
Yeah, and I think there was a post on, I don't remember if it was a post about swarms, but it kind of turned into that. And I think Theorist was saying, I can't remember who Swarm was he was talking about, but if he feels like that's the optimal one, it was like something, I think it actually was something like what Tex ran at Worlds is like a Black Squadron, withdraw their fire, and then like 2 academies for blockers, and then the rest Obsidians, then How with the whole upgrade, I think is what it was.
Yeah, this is a Wave 1 list.
Yeah, but yeah, and pretty ideal too, because you get those academies out first to jam them up, and then typically you're going to have that pilot skill boost and some good. That Black Squadron withdraw their fire, and then the whole upgrade on Howl is so awesome, I've found. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still I try to run PTL on Howl more often than the Hull, because I feel like if I can get it 2 turns if I can get the evade focus for 2 turns kind of a thing, it pays for itself more. But yeah, I've definitely seen the Hull be better there, because I've definitely gotten myself killed by stressing myself when I shouldn't have and things like that. There's always that give and take there. But it's funny that and I think it's a kind of a testament to the game design that like we saw Tex was basically running a Wave 1 list at Worlds, and so was Nick Jones, who was top 32 as well, and lost to Paul Heaver in the first round. So, who knows how far he could have gone had, he not matched that up with